Welcome to Unbiased and On the Fence. It is Saturday night, Power of 8 at 8 with my guest, or my co-host, I should say, Eileen. How's it going, Eileen?
It's going great. How are you?
Pretty good. I mean, we had a little difficulty get going. We'll see if it stays pixelated. It's actually looking better now. So
You're very pixelated for me, but I'm not. And then I'm pixelated for you, but you're not on your
right.
side.
Exactly. So, well, the problem originally was the reason I wanted to restart is because it was your mouth wasn't with your video. I mean, your sound and mouth wasn't lining up. But
How interesting, when you're trying to watch a movie and the sound is off.
yeah,
So annoying. It's like, oh, I can't watch this anymore.
yeah, it can be annoying, and I actually have to add latency to line up my video with my mouth. So about a half of a second, I have to delay my audio so that it lines up with my camera because I'm using an old cell phone for my camera, and just the time it takes to go through the thing, it's delayed a little bit, even if I'm recording. So it's almost
Wow.
perfectly on right now. So this is about the closest I can get it. So other
Well,
than that,
I've had technical issues on Wi-Fi the whole week.
maybe we can
So
ask the group here and see if
if it's clear for them.
if it's Mercury retrograde or
Yeah,
something
is
along those
Mercury
lines.
retrograde, guys? I've been playing all my YouTube videos on 144 instead of like 720,
Yeah.
which is really slow in the settings so that it wouldn't buffer.
Hmm.
And my internet's going in and out, and we had to put on the Ethernet cable tonight for the first time in months.
I wonder if I should have tried this before the show, but you can actually have it send in what is it, for instead of 720, you can have it send video in, let's see, under bandwidth. Let's see, incoming, I'm going to switch it to, it's 360. Let me see if that helps. Yeah, I think that did help a little bit.
Okay, because I know 144 is very blurry, but then I can actually watch videos on a bad internet signal when I put it down super low.
Yeah. So,
Maybe I quantum jump back into the timeline where we had technical difficulties with my Wi-Fi for a year. Do you
yeah.
remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get a new service, though? Let's see, I'm going to switch it back because it didn't
I
change
got a new
minute ago.
service like a year ago. I've had this service for a year, and it really just cleared up, so I didn't even pull out the Ethernet cable for a
So,
couple of months anyway. So I feel like it's when my tires disappeared. I bought 4 new tires, and then at one point I had 2 new tires and 2 of my old ones popped back on. It's like I've been struggling all week with Wi-Fi.
maybe you should just keep the tire guy on speed dial and say, "Hey, did we switch back? Do you have to check your tires or something? Just to know, like your little indicator of what
I
reality
mean, the
you're in."
manager of the tire shop gave me a free one because he remembered putting 4 on, and then I'm like, well, my old Goodyears are back on, and they're like worn. You could tell they were my original tires, and that somebody didn't come steal my tires and put on their old tires. And he just gave me a free one. He was like, oh my God, I just can't figure this out.
He had to be scratching his head.
Oh,
Uh,
definitely.
I
But
forgot. Did you bring up the Mandela Effect with that guy or no?
no, because he
Right. I
looked
don't
so
blame you.
upset that my back tires had disappeared. I thought that was just one chink in the armor too much to
Right.
actually mention the Mandela effect to him. I think he'd be a puddle on the concrete if I did.
It can be really heavy for people.
Yeah. But really synchronistically, so I was watching Matt. A lot of our guys in our community are over on so many different channels, but they're over there watching Matt. You've mentioned Quantum of Conscience. And he was coming up with like 4 theories on the programming, the predictive programming. And one of them at the end included the Mandela effect. So he's Mandela affected, and he's not afraid to say so. It's one of those types of things because a lot of people in his community aren't Mandela affected. So when he
Yeah.
says it, he sometimes gets a lot of flack. But he's like, hey, I'm Mandela affected, and I'm proud to say it. So he doesn't hide it like some
That's
people do. And as I was listening to it, something just really clicked inside of me. And now I might be on slow-mo, and you guys might have gotten here a long time ago. But I always considered the power of now in the Eckhart Tolle way. You still have a past, you still have a future, but the power is in the now. That's where you can make changes. Obviously, you can't jump in the past yet that we know of and make changes, and jump in the future yet that we know of and make changes. So the power rests in the now. I always got that concept, read all his books.
Mm-hmm.
And I also got the concept that time is not linear. It's all happening at once in this holographic, multidimensional soup. The past is happening now, the future is happening now, and the present is happening now. But in order to experience it and savor it, we stretch it out on a linear timeline so that we can make sense of it. Okay.
Yeah.
I've always gotten that concept, but today, something he said that he totally did not mean to lead me in this direction, I'm sure, made it click that it's very, very, very possible that we don't have a past. There is no past. It never happened. And it's very, very possible that we don't have a future. There is no future that is going to happen. All we have is the perennial, infinite state of now. Consciousness is now. So there is no Mandela effect because there's nothing in the past to change. So that would make a Mandela effect the changing in the present of a collective consciousness construct. You know how you explained how Ra was a group memory form, a group construct of
social memory complex.
Social
I believe
memory
they call it.
complex.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So our memories of anything in the past, whether they're personal or shared, could be a memory construct from the present. So like in this moment, in order to justify my given weight and my family situation, I have to create a past that supports that so that this makes sense right now.
Right.
And I have to create a future that supports the now, every moment, every second. I'm changing that future. I'm changing that future, but I'm also changing that past, changing my past, changing my past. So there would be no Mandela effect. The Mandela effect would simply be a change in consciousness of what you perceive to be a past that never existed. And I don't know if I can explain that. Somebody in the chat, I forgot to write down your name. I'm so sorry. I've been talking to so many people today in comments and emails and stuff, really got it. And I'm like, yeah, I think you got it, but I don't think I explained it very well because some people are still responding, oh, it's all happening at once. And that's quite different to it doesn't exist at all. You know?
Exactly.
And Vanessa VA put out a video on it. Did you see her video on it 3 days ago?
Exactly. Yeah, and it's all coming around. In fact, yeah, somebody told me about it, and I was watching it, and I was like, yes, because I did this video. You know, it was sort of my subjective view of the Mandela effect and my conclusions that I'd come up with like a while back. You know, probably over a year ago now. I think it was the end of last year, and it was trying to explain how no matter how you see the past, you're always viewing it in the now. So whether someone's telling you about an old memory, they're telling you now about something. Whether you're reading it in a book, you're reading it now about something. Or watching a movie, you're watching it now. You can't go back to the past because it doesn't really exist. All we have is now. And that was sort of the thing I was trying to get over in that video. It's so hard to wrap your head around.
But do you feel like
totally
the past never existed? That never happened. Ever. You're making up the past right now. You're creating your past right now to justify where you are in your thoughts right now. But it never actually happened.
It happened when it was now.
See, that's the difference. What Vanessa's saying and what I'm saying is that it never happened.
Right.
There was no past.
Right.
So you're a consciousness which only has the now available. So what you do to feel comfortable is you invent a past in the now that makes you feel more comfortable. I had a mom, I had a dad, I had a little house, I had a teacher, I had a pet dog, I had a cat. But the theory is that none of that ever happened. All you ever have is now, and to experience this material matrix in the moment, we create and make up a past that supports our present. Have
Right.
you ever thought of that?
Right. But that would mean that what you just said didn't happen.
Exactly.
So no, I don't think it logically makes sense in that form, I guess. But I feel like, every now moment, when we think of the future, it will never happen if it doesn't become the now. In the past never happened except for in the now. So in a sense, it's like if you can view the past and you can think of it as the past, but it was the now that you're thinking about. You know what I'm saying?
I
It's
do. But I
the
see what you
trail.
mean, 'cause that's what I thought. I always felt like you don't have it anymore, but you had it once. It once existed. But this is more like a spirit stepping into a virtual reality game. And as soon as they put those goggles on, they have an entire history created for them, an entire past. They have their present that they interact with the surface of the program.
Mm-hmm.
And they have no future because they're not really in the program. It's not real.
Right.
So you're just in there experiencing the now. But if you're in virtual reality, you can't really experience a future in the game. Like, say you're going down the Nile, you put on these goggles and you're watching through your headset that you are physically in a boat in Egypt and it's sailing down the Nile. And you can hear the sounds and smell the smells and see everything. And I don't know if you can touch it. I guess your avatar could touch it, right? With those little gloves with the fingertips, right?
Mm-hmm.
The little sensors.
Yeah.
And you could say, oh, my avatar in this virtual reality is a man. I'm a woman. And he's 20 years old. I'm 58. Okay. And they've created a whole past for him. He had 5 brothers and sisters, and he became, a professor. So he's got a past that's been created, but he doesn't have a future because as I go through the virtual reality through the eyes of my avatar, I'm co-creating the future with him. He is just a player and he's not created anything. And he
Right.
can only create what I create for him, which would be saying our spirit can only create through our material bodies here. We really can't. Our egos can't do anything but soak it up and enjoy it.
Right.
But the
Observe with our
spirit,
sensors.
yeah, observe with our
Excuse me.
sensors, but our spirit can create. But as soon as the spirit steps out, our ego and our bodies don't continue on to create futures.
Right.
Therefore, the future is not real. It's not
Right.
really going to happen. It's not real. I guess that's what A
It's in our
Course in.
imagination. So is the
Yeah.
past. It's in the imagination. That's why I thought the infinite moment of now, that's, what I try to get across in the meditation. The infinite moment of now. Now is infinite, And that, if you're thinking about the past, you're really imagining the past. So it's an imagination, but we have it there, as sort of a conscious construct of events and things like that. But they're still a product of the now because if anytime you dive into what we consider the past, it's the imagination of the past. And it's really not much different than the imagination of the future.
Unless, yeah, I know what you mean. And I think maybe doing your meditation today probably got me to this point of going, well, wait a minute. What if there is no past? It never happened. What if my mind is creating it now because it needs a logical past to explain where I am now and how I got here? So, right this moment, I'm inventing a past that never happened.
Right?
And that's could have something to do with not only Matt's video, but doing your meditation today. And of course, listening to the whole love stream, which was awesome. I felt like with Hope, I was getting a BQH. I'm like, this is like a BQH when she was talking about downloads that she receives about you and Michelle and me and different people who come on. She's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I see you in all these different settings. I'm like, whoa, this is like a BQH. And then Nancy coming on and talking about the get together. And there's so many of them now. So our community is real instead of
Right.
virtual. It's getting real.
Yeah. In Vanessa VA's video, um, I was so thrilled to listen to that about how no matter what, you're experiencing it in the now. And, a little hint for that is as the Mandela effect changes happen in our now moment, if we could, by chance, borrow Marty McFly's time machine and go back to a past, it wouldn't be recognizable to us because we'd go back and see that this isn't what I experienced. And that
Mhm.
sort of shows you that, what stuff switch back as you move back in time, through this fake timeline. That's why I think timelines are so limiting because I feel like it's like a soup of consciousness happening now of possibilities, and we're bringing things into reality with just how we resonate and we believe. That's why I don't feel like you jump into a timeline where A, B, and C is this way, and things are so rigid. That's why the timeline thing I think is so it's helpful with trying to get a point across, but it's
But
very
limiting.
limiting because it's like trying to explain a 3D concept on a piece of paper. You really have to begin to draw it and make it look 3D, but it's still on a flat piece of paper. You know what I mean? So
I do.
timeline is limiting in that way because
Yeah.
it sort of makes everything sound like you're on this train track. Everything's a solid, rigid way, an objective reality that we can all agree upon, which I disagree about that. I think this is a very subjective reality
Fluid.
that we can't all agree on. We're experiencing something very different. And I feel like it's not, I don't feel like it's multiple train tracks you can jump on. I feel like it's more of a soup of
Yeah.
probability in this one single subjective reality
I feel like it's a soup too, a holographic soup
of
with multiple
consciousness,
dimensions of consciousness in a soup, in a sea of
right?
consciousness. But even Vanessa, who told me today, I just did a video on this. I can't believe it. And I haven't seen it. But I'm getting a lot of notifications now, like, 100 a day. And I try to see all my subs videos. It's really hard to do, but,
It is.
we try.
Mm-hmm.
And I was listening to it and she said, so then the Mandela effect is only changing information in the present, not about a past because the past never really happened or occurred, but a social construct of a memory, a shared memory. One group has this one group has that one group has that one, this one has that one. And everybody has different ones, not because they're changing, but just because that's what they've decided to create.
Exactly.
So nothing's changing. We've just created different pasts in the same place. But then what about 10 years ago? Why didn't we do that 10 years ago? You
Because
know?
there wasn't a 10 years ago.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay, so I've constructed a memory that says in the past we didn't have a Mandela effect, but in the present we clearly do. What if we've always had the Mandela effect, but something in my now prevented me from seeing that?
And that's why I think we have people that's like, I've been seeing this since the 70s and stuff. I'm glad you guys are
My
fine. You're,
mom
even, yeah, your mom was one that noticed people coming back to life and
in the
stuff like that.
70s.
Cynthia C. Larson's been writing books about it for 2 decades, 3 decades or something. So,
Yeah, and I
you
saw
know,
it in 95 when Nelson Mandela, who I went to interview in South Africa, turned up with the Spice Girls in London in 1995. And I'm like, but you've been dead since 1987. This is impossible. But
right,
I felt completely alone with that thought. I didn't think anybody else in the entire world was feeling as crazy as I was feeling in that moment when he was alive.
right.
I'm like, what? So actually, he didn't die in 87. He didn't die in 91. And he probably didn't even die in 2013. These are all constructs of our own consciousness that we create to give ourselves a narrative. Like, if you're going to create a video game, you're going to want to make it rich and full of detail. So
Exactly.
our spirits are up there playing these avatars, and they've created a lot of richness and a lot of detail.
Yeah, I like to think of it like I've said before, like where you go and you can pay to go on a virtual reality tour, but then take it a step further and you can have a total recall type event where you go and you experience Mars, and it's very real and it feels like you were there. And even when you come back from it, you have those memories as if you actually went there. It feels extremely real. And then I think, if we can go and live an entire life within, a day, paying, I guess they probably charge $500,000 for the elites to be able to go and do this. They can live out this life as a king, where it seems like they had, 60 years to reign over this kingdom and do what they do or whatever. And then they come out of it and they're like, oh my gosh, it was only one day. I feel like time is even very subjective. I mean, they would just be downloading basically a whole 60 years of a lifetime and have 60 years of a lifetime of memories, but they just did it, in maybe an hour or two, appointment.
Or instantly. Yeah. It's like reality can be so unreal that that's where people used to get kind of scared when their minds would wander into concepts where nothing was real. They'd very quickly come back into the 3D reality because it felt safer there. But with the Mandela effect, we can't do that. We can't keep running into our given parameters that we were taught and told by others. We have to get out there and figure it out ourselves, which is amazing. I think that's why we're so.
Come back to me. Let's see if I can get Eileen back here. There, are we back?
Did you lose me?
No, you were still coming through, and then you just disappeared after a second. But you couldn't hear me, so.
I could turn my phone on.
Are you want to try the hotspot? Actually, I think it might have been on my end because my stream actually stopped over here for a second. Now it's showing it as the stream resumed. So it's probably going to break this up into multiple videos. So we're having problems on both ends, I think.
Both ends. You froze for me, and then I could just hear myself, and I'm like, am I the only one here? And then I was telling everybody, I must be frozen. I must be gone. Right. Which is probably going to crack them up because you were probably gone, and I was talking to them like I didn't exist anymore.
Nope, I was here. I was here and for them, and you were here for them, but I wasn't there for you, and you felt alone. I'm so sorry.
Now, this is emphasizing the whole point of nothing is real here. Nothing exists. We just think it does. Right?
Yeah.
We just pretend like it exists.
We need our fake connection to come back here.
Should I go put a hotspot on, or are we good?
I think we're good. Actually, I think you're clearer than ever now.
Yeah, you're clear. Yeah. I don't know what happened, but it's good. Whatever it is, it's a better signal.
I forgot what we're on.
It ties into Magic Sister. Did I get the right name? Because I haven't looked up the email for a couple of days. Hi, Magic Sister. I know you're in the room. Shane told me, and we're going to do your meditation tonight. If I stay on, if I don't get bounced off.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Yeah, it's still showing up as yellow over here, but it's turning green. It just turned green, so we're good.
Magic Sister was talking about a meditation about the intensified fear in the community about the YouTube rules, the COPA law rule, and some other things. There's another thing. Okay, so I really looked up COPA. Did you look at COPA? I send you a couple of things too.
It's not really going to affect, unless we do like, see, I thought about like reading Milton the Early Riser book, just because it was so huge for me as a child. And I thought that's something that could definitely get struck by the whole COPA rule. What
happened was YouTube's advertisers, 70 million for collecting data on children. So the advertisers are so mad, like, we're not going to watch ads before we place we're not going to watch videos as we place ads on them. And YouTube's like, we're not going to watch videos before you place ads on them. We get 1 million videos uploaded a day. So they've decided to shift the responsibility for the advertisers only to advertise appropriate ads to the video content creators. That's all. So if you say this video is not for children and my channel is not for children, you're okay. Right. Nobody's going to put an inappropriate ad on something that a child could watch. But if you make things, this is where it gets a little touchy though. Like I did a Mandela Effect video on Pepe Le Pew. So my thumbnail was Pepe Le Pew, a cute little skunk, very well known cartoon. And that could attract children. So here I'm registering. You guys can't see it, but as I upload the video, I say, not for children, it's for adults. It's a Mandela Effect on Pepe Le Pew, on his stripe.
But they can come back and say, no, you were attracting children with this
You are
childlike
attracting.
thumbnail.
And then I could
That's
get a $40,000, $42,000 or $46,000 fine.
exactly.
So I just deleted my Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse Mandela Effect and my Pepe Le Pew Mandela Effect one, so kids won't be attracted to the thumbnails. I just got rid of them. You know, people saw them. I don't need to have them up forever.
Mm-hmm.
But still, that's a lot of fear mongering going around right now. Magic Sister's right. It's like it's kind of growing out of proportion, don't you think?
Yeah, it is. And there was supposed to be some new rules coming online the 10th of December. I don't know what that's all about, though.
Well, I heard the bad part. Yeah. I don't know about all the rules that are coming online, but what people are afraid of, which is, you know, getting this more of the fear. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fear. And I don't know if it's fear mongering or if it's like, you know, reliable fear, right?
Right.
Real fear, and justifiable fear. If your channel is not financially feasible, YouTube can terminate it. Okay, so here's the problem with that. A lot of people don't monetize on principle. They're like, I don't care if I get 10 followers, subscribers, or 100,000 subscribers, I'm not going to monetize. Matt doesn't monetize with his channel.
Right. Yeah, I know a lot of people that
he's got 50, like almost 60,000 subscribers.
But they won't hardly promote any of your videos, and even if they do. So here's where I think, you know, this sounds like they're getting into is that whenever you do sort of this gray area content, you'll get, instead of having the little green money sign next to the video, you'll get a yellow, not suitable for all advertisers.
Mm-hmm.
So channels like High Impact Flicks Vlogs or whatever the channel is, where almost every single video he puts out has a yellow money sign on it, and only specific types of advertisers will even do that. It's probably going to provide a way for them to, even the monetized channels, them to say, well, you know, every video you put out isn't suitable anyway, so you're not financially viable. So it sounds like sort of a backdoor on that, you know.
And here's the last one. Starting December 10th, they can delete the channels that aren't financially viable. That's freaking people out. That's causing a fear-mongering wave or ripple through the community, because there are so many little channels, even in our community, that have less than 1,000 subscribers, so they can't monetize. Therefore, their channel is not financially viable. Therefore, it's in the terms, and we don't sign the terms. I guess just by being on, we've signed them. And in the terms, they can delete those channels. Something about overcrowding. Just something about the sheer volume of videos that go up onto YouTube every day worldwide.
So they're going to have to come up with a way of distinguishing, because right now, if you sign up for YouTube, you can post the video right now. I mean, you don't have to. That's why it's hard for me to even tell who has a channel. Some people have had a channel for a long time, and I'm like, I didn't even know you did anything on your channel, because there's no distinction between those who put content up and those who are just here watching other people's channels.
And making comments, right? Because they want to comment. Because I used to watch YouTube, didn't comment, and didn't really have an icon or a name.
Right.
I just went in and watched it on the internet.
Right.
Right. And then when I try to comment and like things, it's like, you must register. And when I registered, that created my channel just so I could go on and comment on your live streams.
Exactly. So they're going to have to make a distinction between content creators and just having just a YouTube login so that you can leave a comment, you can save your likes and do all these types of things that you can.
But then what about all the little?
Did you lose me?
I did. You're back.
Okay, so it probably jumped. Okay, I started my hotspot on my phone, so as a backup.
Yay, hotspot. So what about all the little channel producers?
Yeah.
That do a little chit-chat video? They have less than 1,000 subscribers. They cannot monetize it. They're not allowed. Are those not financially viable channels? Do they get deleted because YouTube doesn't want them to post videos?
And you got to love that, attorneys have to have written this language because it's always so ambiguous. It leaves them, it's basically just a free check for them to say what's financially viable. And I mean, do they ever define this anywhere? What
No,
they
it's not
define is,
defined.
that's how the whole COPPA thing is. They
It's
leave it
not
all
defined.
open to cover their butt, but
It's not defined. And so I might have more than 1,000 subscribers and I might monetize, but if I only make $10 a month, is that not financially viable? Do I get cut too? And or if I'm making $500 a month and my topic is so controversial, am I financially not viable? Does that get cut? See, there's no hard rule of what is financially viable and what isn't. So they can cut anyone, anywhere, anytime. But you see, I'm creating more fear, like Magic Sister said, that we should do a meditation to reverse the fear. Because I don't know if you guys have seen, there's a gazillion videos on now about YouTube's going to do this and YouTube's going to do that.
yeah.
It's kind of I don't know if they're exaggerating the fear or if that was the whole purpose. Like, did YouTube put these rules out and then give a kick to all their fake truther channels to go out and put out really scary videos?
Which is exactly why. Okay, so you had sent me a video by Markiplier. He's, I
Mhm.
think, probably got 5 million. He's got millions of subscribers. I'm not really sure. 24 million? I don't think he has that many, does he?
I don't
I'm sorry.
normally
I'm
make.
gonna post this. Holy cow, he does 24.7 million
Million.
subscribers. Wow. Okay, so this is Markiplier. My older kids watch him. He's not for kids, but I can see that being a problem. But he did this video. I'm showing it to everyone here. The video you sent me. It's not playing, but I've got it up on the screen and it says YouTube has a huge problem. And he goes into how a lot of his viewers have been actually had their channels permanently banned. Okay, so you play something that's copyright material and they actually give you a copyright strike. It's 3 strikes and you're out. And they have, like, after the first strike, you might lose your ability to stream for, I don't know what all the rules are, but they have like a set thing that you go through. But, with Sherry losing her channel, after you sent that to me, I sent her that link and I'm like, maybe you do too many emojis. Maybe that's why they just completely terminate your channel without any explanation. Just like it sounded just like what he says in the Markiplier video. She tried to appeal it. They didn't tell her why. They just said that they wouldn't. And Sherry, she didn't put anything out that was
No,
even
but you're right. She
remotely.
does do a lot of lines of emojis, and so do a lot of people.
Yeah,
Nicola Simpson, right? A load
yeah,
of, I mean, me, a
yeah.
load of us just like do tons of emojis in live chats. And he lost a lot of subscribers. They got banned from YouTube permanently because he said, we're voting, right? This is a voting video where it's a live stream. If you agree, put a lot of red emojicons down or emojis. And if you disagree, put a lot of green or vice versa. Maybe it said the opposite. And as soon as they did that, they were getting banned from YouTube forever for emoji spamming. Emoji spam.
No warnings, no nothing. And
Have you
even
ever
some of
heard of
them lost
anything
their
like
whole
that?
Google account, right?
Yes, and they can't restart one. They have to
Uh,
like come up with a new IP address, maybe a new, because my Google is on my phone and my laptop, so
yeah,
I'd be
there's no
screwed.
way they know who you are. I mean, so
Yeah. And also the IP address goes to the house, so I'd have to get a special tablet that I only used at Starbucks to
right.
go on Google again. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But is it true? Is
I don't
all
know.
this
I'm not
fear
worrying about
mongering
it though.
true?
I figured if they can take me out from using too many emojis, so be it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to worry too much about it, but I will let people know that, the word is that you can get kicked off from too many emojis. But
Only during live streams, right? Not making comments on posted videos?
I don't really know. It has to be some sort of parameter set up in the algorithm that says, hey, when the ratio of emojis to actual regular text reach this amount, or once somebody has used, I don't know, 10,000 emojis, in their text ratio, there has to be some sort of set rule in their algorithm, but they're not going to tell us what that is. But there has to be a reason for people getting banned because I use them a ton. I'll put rows and rows of them, but I put a lot of text in there too. So There has to be something, if they hit 1,000 emojis, but their texts are only 500 characters. I'm just throwing out some examples here.
It's hard to
They
know.
get banned,
Yeah. And who cares? Why does YouTube care about emojis? They're cute. Like, if I receive 50 emojis, I'm like, oh, that's very cute. You look at the whole picture. That
Right.
I don't see any harm in it. Do you?
No, I don't.
Emoji banning.
Emoji
spam.
I just sent out a row of them just for you guys.
I mean, I'm like doing
Tempting fate.
3. I'm thinking I can do 3 emojis during a live stream max.
What is that?
Because I don't want to get banned forever.
I just sent out a dozen. So, but I do a lot of text too.
I do too. I talk a lot. More words than emojis probably during a live stream.
Right. I agree. And so I think maybe it has something to do with that. Like, they have to write the code a certain way. And, if you're like new, if you've got a new account, because I can imagine Markiplier has some younger people that just have only had their account maybe a year. And if he's got them just only using emojis, maybe that's tilting that ratio of text to emoji too heavy on the emoji side. And then they hit that point that they just automatically get banned. And they don't even explain. Okay, here's the other thing I have a problem
So
with.
is it AI?
It is AI doing it, but my problem with it is, in the Markiplier video, how did he come to that conclusion that that's what was causing it? He showed proof of people trying to get their accounts back and everything, but he never showed any proof that that's even what triggered it. And I think that's important for me to mention, that he only stated that was the problem with no proof that that's what was doing it.
So I don't know. I don't know. I just see a lot of fear-mongering YouTube videos.
Did you lose me?
I don't know if they're true.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. But so that's why we're doing our meditation.
Do you think I'm going to cut out, though? Have I been cutting out tonight?
No, I would say if you think you cut out, just keep going, because you've been coming through loud and clear for me the whole time. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we created this, guys, especially if we don't have a past. For a year now, maybe more, we've all been moaning and complaining about, and it's true for good reason, that we're being shadow banned and we're not being promoted, and YouTube's being mean to us because they don't want us to help other people to self-empower. All true. But because we focused on it, it got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until there's this big googly YouTube monster trying to shut down people who aren't financially viable, terminating possibly accounts who use too many emojis because they're so friendly and happy. It's like, you're too happy, terminated forever.
Actually, I've been totally cool with this whole thing. I mean, I have mentioned I'm shadow banned or whatever, but not in a negative way.
You have been so cool about it.
I have realized how few trolls I get. Even I've had comments that seem sort of trolly, and then they're like, "Oh no, sorry, I didn't mean it that way," and then it's like, "Oh no." So,
no trolls.
So I'm totally cool. I'm totally
one
cool
banned in the last 3 months. So happy.
People coming in from word of mouth is, to me, the best way. Anyway, have you heard of Unbiased on the Fence? That's the best way. Or somebody shares a video on Facebook. I've noticed that that's a way. Whenever somebody shares a video on Facebook and people click it that way and they find me, but still they're within their circle of friends.
They're still part of the bigger community.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I did go from, here comes the moan, I did go from 100 a month, because I'm a fairly new channel. Well, so are you, but you just had huge growth. You had a really good growth period. I went from 100 subscribers a month to 10, and I've been at about 10 new subscribers, which is great. 10 new subscribers a month since April. But like all the other channels who are doing metaphysical, spiritual stuff, they all declined at the same time.
Everybody.
It's
across the board. Yeah,
across the board. Yeah. And last April. It happened last April when the new rules, the new algorithms came out.
Yeah, I've been in the 15,000s for, I think, this whole year, it seems like.
Yeah.
So
you know what? But the more we focus on it, the more we discuss it, the more we put emotion behind it, the worse it gets. It seems to grow and grow and grow, just like they teach us through law of attraction.
Yeah. I'm actually at a high point right now. I'm at plus 147 subscribers. It's been at 20 and 40 and numbers like that, in the double digits. And I haven't seen anything. And I think a lot of it has to do with people from the conference that didn't know about my channel. And, still this grassroots effort, not the algorithm pushing me, but
Mm-mm.
also I even had my son the other day say, "Hey, I put on Bias in the Fence and your channel came up." And you know, it hadn't been coming up if you put that in there. I'm like,
Nice.
you would see me on other channels and it's like, how is my name
And
coming
it's
up
like,
on another
where's
channel
Shane's channel?
but
Yeah.
my channel? I think it's funny. But
That
I
is
don't worry
true
about it.
shadow banning for sure. Well, I
Yeah.
just want to let everybody know that I'm doing A Course in Miracles on my little channel, and there's about a dozen of us. It's a huge commitment, Shane, because I have to do a lesson a day because we're only doing the workbook. I'm just like, okay, guys, too many people have asked me in the last year, come on, do the Course in Miracles, do the Course in Miracles. And I'm like, I'm certainly not going to do the text, which is, 800 pages of really boggy material.
But there's
No
like
way,
a
Jose.
workbook for 1 year, right? A
Yep,
1 year
it's a
workbook.
1-year workbook. I don't know if you can see. This has all 3 books in it. Yep.
Yeah.
And it's a lesson a day for a year. And of course,
Very
that's a
nice.
huge commitment, which is why I haven't started it till now. I don't know why I even started it now. If you have to do a 5-minute video every single day for 365 days and you can't miss one, it's like, oh my God, that is such a commitment.
It's more of a commitment than the 40-day manifestation thing of writing something down. I mean, you really have to.
Yeah. That's the other thing. Shane's designing a cover for me. I am putting out 40 days and 40 nights, but I'm doing it for you guys free in January. So with this show and our meditations and our get-togethers and all things metaphysical on the table, I will discuss, it's such a short book, a little bit of 40 days and 40 nights every day until we get through the whole workbook.
And for
But
anybody who
yeah.
hasn't subscribed already to Eileen's channel, it is down below. It says Eileen's one YouTube channel, just below.
I'm going, it's down below. And I'm like, oh, I'm putting a thumbs down. No, thumbs up.
It's down below. Thumbs up down below. Okay.
It's down below.
So yeah.
So goofy. So goofy. Yeah. So come on over if you want to do it. There's a dozen of us at least. We're doing it every day and it's so cool. And I have to chat about it afterwards, or it's a copyright thing. I have to use fair use, which means I have to use it for education, criticism, and comment. And if I leave off my comment at the end, then I'm literally just uploading somebody else's work.
One
So
little piece at a time. Yeah.
yeah, so I don't think anybody minds me talking about the lesson as soon as I've read it and giving my 2 cents on it so that I make it original. I just have to make it original.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And so far, nobody's complained.
We'll just have to hope that they don't have their hawks out looking, right? But yeah, I don't mean that in a fearful way.
And it's my voice, and it's my voice reading it. I'm not using, I'm not downloading anybody's videos.
Yeah.
So.
Should be okay.
Should be okay. And I'm reviewing it. And
some people are really on top of it, like Ozark Publishing. They're on top of the Dolores Cannon. I mean, it seems like they got people out looking for anything at all. Luckily, my stuff survived because I never have her name in the title of anything. I'll just maybe show a little clip. So out of 600 and some odd videos, if anybody's watching and you're wanting to find it, have fun. It's like a needle in a haystack.
I've got one too, and it's like the Dolores Cannon wiki burn, and it's praising her channel with a snippet from her video saying, "Can you believe Wikipedia removed her?" But you see, that's another complaint. That's growing the negative instead of growing the positive.
And I think they have something to do with that too. I think Ozark Publishing is just. They're on top of it. It's a good thing, though.
Wow. Well, today in my video, at some point, I said, thank you, YouTube. Thank you for bringing us all together. Yeah. I'm like trying to reverse my mind on it so that I can grow the positive instead of like, especially if the past didn't happen and there is no past.
I'm thankful for YouTube.
Yeah, I'm thankful.
Yeah, I'm very thankful. It brought us all together. How can I not be happy about what they've done, It's like sort of hating the internet because of all the bad stuff on the internet. The internet brought us together, so how can I hate the internet as a whole? It's like money we've talked about.
Yeah,
it can be used as good or bad. We don't have to. We don't have to stamp it with negative or positive. It just is what it is. It's a tool that we've been able to use to come together, and here we are.
Use it for good or bad, right? Yeah, humans, we don't have dogs doing it, and lions aren't doing it. Humans can use it for good or bad here.
Yeah. So I think it'll be good. It's served its purpose. And, I do have the website up now, uotf.net. So
Cool.
if something ever
Cool.
happens and I have to move to another platform,
Oh,
at
I
least
won't lose you
the core will be able to find us. You know what I mean? And
because of the you unbiased and on the fence website.
yeah.
We'll be able to go there and
Hmm.
touch base and get everybody back together again. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's super
And
cool.
that's really only going to be a problem if they knock all of us out because, many of my subscribers are your subscribers or Michelle's subscribers or they're somewhere else. And you guys can be like, hey, he had to move over here. And, we can all get the word out for one another. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. And Hope, thank you so much for the love stream last night. I always drink it. I always drink my coffee and listen to the live stream. Otherwise, I fall asleep in the middle of it on Friday night. And she was really very, very kind. And what she was describing, I felt like was a BQH. I felt
Yeah.
like I was experiencing her BQH.
Yeah.
And I felt like, you're right. I never think of that. I never think of, how many things are discussed on Shane's channel? How many different things are brought in by, people who co-host with you and how that changes your week and changes your day,
Yeah.
But I love it because I can listen in with Sherry or with Michelle or just your private videos or your meditation or your love stream. And every experience is different, but it has its own flavor. So the
Hmm.
next one is similar if it's on a Friday night, but it's totally different to the Mondays and the Tuesdays and the Saturdays. So it keeps your channel really fresh, really
Mm.
like always interesting new topics.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I need to. Yeah, the fact that we have, like Sherry and I having different guests on, will make the Mondays quite a bit different. And then I know a lot of people, whenever I put out a shorter video, they're like, "Oh, thank goodness you put out a short one." I love when you do short videos, and sort of get back to my roots because they liked it better when my videos were 10 or 20 minutes long, and now that they're
I
an
like your
hour or three
produced
hours long,
videos.
right?
Your production value is very high. So when you produce a video, it's usually really good and interesting. So
Right,
I kind
and
of missed your
shorter.
produced ones too. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like them all, but I like
I
a
miss being
mix.
able to do it. Like even that meditation took several hours to do, and it wasn't, it was like 7 minutes, 6 minutes or something.
It took 6 minutes to do. You turned on the mic and you went,
Right. But I had to find, the free background to use, and then I had to edit it, and then I had to find the free music, and then put it all in there. And
but your voice, and I did it and I did not fall asleep. But that video of your last meditation that you, I think, put up yesterday, right? We could do that every day. We could do that meditation and play it once a day at least.
right, I wanted it short so somebody can, because really, I actually will do that in like a minute or two. I won't take the full
Really, you
six
just take a
minutes.
minute because
And
it
then
just
I'll do it several times throughout the day, like every
peace,
other hour or something. Or if I feel like I got triggered and I feel anxious or upset or angry or anything, even if I start feeling
fearful.
sad or fearful, it's like sort of connecting back to source or God or creator and getting in the perfect alignment, in that moment. And I didn't know. It's like it's right there all the time. I didn't know it's right there all the time. You can tap into it at any time, and it's an unlimited resource that most of us don't even think to use.
And now that you've put it out as a video, it's an unlimited resource for people who like to have guided meditations. Because
Right.
some people, they're just like, I just don't like to sit there in silence and go, okay,
Right.
higher source, now what do you want to do? They're like, I will visualize purple.
Right.
Okay, I see purple, purple, purple coming down on me. Now what? Now what should I visualize? What should I do next? Oh, yeah,
Right.
I have a meeting tomorrow. Meeting goes well. Boss really loves my presentation, and then they're
Right.
like, okay, now what should I do?
Or
And
you're like, wait a minute, I'm in the future at this meeting. I was supposed to be in the now. That's what.
I'm in
That's
the
what.
future for tomorrow's meeting. In my meditation, I'm supposed to be in the now.
Right. Yeah.
So
So yeah, it does help because, and then it gives you something to focus on, a voice, and you can just listen to the voice. You don't have to think of what to say next
don't
in your
have to
mind.
think.
Right.
But you know what? I'm really, really careful, you guys. I will listen to your meditations in this community and like 2 other people. And that's it, because I don't want the subliminals coming into my mind. I
Right.
know who I know. and those
Right.
are the people I'm going to listen to. And there's really popular meditations out there, and I'm just thinking,
Yep.
Eileen, you cannot hear the subliminals. They are silent, but they're there.
I'm
What are they
suspicious too. I'm
programming you to do?
like, how did they get 300,000 subscribers? It's gotta, and so
Because
yeah,
of
I
the
go there too.
subliminal.
But then I'm like, I'm protected.
I
So
am protected, but I also put little sleep playlists together that are off. You guys can't see them. And I can, if I need a meditation to go to sleep to, I can hit one of my playlists and there'll be 3 in there. And then
right,
if I fall asleep halfway through, no damage done, with my subconscious mind just sucking it all in, because
right,
at the end of the playlist, it goes off.
right,
It stops. No more YouTube, no more sounds, no more lights, and it's well away from me. And I've got my alarm set on the phone, so it's kind of a system where I can use a lot of created playlists for special kinds of meditations,
yeah,
but only if I trust somebody. Because if I fall asleep and they've got subliminals under there, I know I'm protected,
yeah.
and I know I'm safe, but I sure don't want to be fighting subconscious programming, you know.
I totally agree. Yeah,
Or I'd watched regular TV, and I do watch there's a couple of shows that I'll watch. I do admit that to people, because I'm not like, well, I haven't thrown the TV away. And yes, I do have a teenager in the house, but like, I will watch The Voice because I love to hear people sing who are not famous. I know there's all kinds of Illuminati crap on that show, but it doesn't matter, because at least I get to hear the people who have beautiful voices, who, if they didn't have that show, we'd never see them. We'd never hear them,
yeah,
you know?
totally. Yeah,
And I
awesome.
used to like to watch Ancient Aliens, but not so much anymore because I've gone a bit political. Let's see what else. Oh, I love watching that horrible show that everybody makes fun of, America's Got Talent, because it's so incredibly insane what things do people do in this country that constitutes talent. And sometimes it's something really spectacular, and sometimes it's something just I'd never have thought of, really crazy. And I love to have that kind of insight into my bigger community, as opposed to watching reality shows where they're fighting.
And I even like when it comes to stuff like that, when somebody will put together a compilation video of these heartfelt moments from shows like that. I tend to watch something like that rather than getting invested in the whole thing, because you'll
That's
have
better.
these moments where I mean, it's hard not to even shed a tear. And I don't even know the people. I can imagine it was so much more emotional if you sort of followed them along the whole season or whatever.
Hmm. Hmm.
Or, you have these people that come on and they blow the judges away. So I'll watch stuff like that, which is typically put
That's
out
on
on
YouTube.
YouTube, or
Yeah,
my
where you can
kids
see
will be watching
kids,
it.
and
Yeah.
yeah, that is a good way to see it, because then you get the highlights
Yeah, and you get the
and not
best
the
of the best,
lowlights.
and
But
like
I'm
the
just
guy,
saying, I'm not
yeah,
promoting it, but I do live in the real world, and I do have a foot in 3D, and I do watch a couple of television programs, but I don't watch things that bring me down. I
right,
don't watch things that make me sad or fearful anymore.
right.
I don't need that kind of programming, so I just avoid them.
I hear you. All right, well,
We better do the meditation, because you got to skedaddle.
yeah, we got 15 minutes, 16 minutes or something.
Okay.
So
And usually we do about 12 minutes live,
yeah, we'll
don't
be
we?
good. Yeah, I'll go full screen for you and mute myself. Turn my camera off.
Cool. I'm going to go off
We'll
of
be
the
good.
video, and then I'm going to take a sip of water, so bear with me. Okay, so I'm just pulling the mic a little bit closer. I can't get those dulcet tones that Shane has. So everybody go do yourself a favor and watch his meditation that he did yesterday on being present in the moment with source energy. Super cool meditation, about 6 minutes long. But tonight we're going to do a suggestion by Magic Sister. Thank you very much for that, by email. And we're going to take a nice deep breath in. Just really fill up your lungs, and then exhale out every ounce of breath. Take another deep breath in when you're ready. Really extend your tummy, let it fill up, and exhale out any tension anywhere in your physical or emotional body. And take a third relaxing, nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, let go of any stress from the day or yesterday or the holiday or the week. And as we do every Saturday night, we're going to start breathing in through our heart center or our heart chakra. Imagine that breath coming straight in through your heart and exhale through your heart. Continue to breathe gently in through your heart and out. You're simply entraining your mind with your heart, your mental energy with your emotional energy. And now, if you like, you can add a color to that. Any color you feel that you could use in the moment right now, let that beautiful, clear, crystalline color come in with the breath and exhale that color back out. And this time, as you breathe that color gently in, let it fill up your entire physical and etheric bodies from the top to the bottom, out your fingertips, out the tips of your toes, out the top of your head. And just continue to gently breathe that color in, filling yourself up, and exhale it out. And know that anywhere that that color comes in contact with a physical problem, that energy will dissipate it. That energy will heal it. Anywhere that that color and that energy that you've chosen in the moment comes in contact with an emotional or a mental challenge, that color and that energy will dissipate it. That color and the energy that comes with it will heal it. That's the whole purpose of choosing a color in the moment that can serve you. And now we're going to hold hands and send down a grounding cord from chakra all the way down to the center of the earth. Let it go through all the layers and spread out when it reaches the core. And just imagine doing something that you love doing, something that you like doing more than anything else. Just imagine it. Try to see it, try to hear it, and more importantly, feel it. Get the feeling that you have when you do what you love doing. And now we're all going to intend together that anytime we hear anything that is fearful on social media platforms or on mainstream media, that we immediately transmute that within ourselves into a deeper understanding of where that fear may be coming from without knowing exactly why it's being put out or whether or not it's legitimate. We don't have to test everything and know, should we be afraid or should we not be afraid? When we come across information that does not threaten our immediate safety, say something about the YouTube channel and what they may or may not do to small channels, what they may or may not do to channels that have some child content and some adult content. Go ahead and transmute that message through your own heart energy. So the mind is pulling it in, hearing it, seeing it, watching it, and analyzing it. But then engage your heart energy to clear it. And just easily, you can tell yourself, no fear here. And let it go. It's that simple. You don't have to change it. You don't have to transmute it. You don't have to make it positive. You simply have to acknowledge it, that it triggered you. Maybe you felt a little fear too. This excessive fear mongering that seems to be growing and growing and growing about YouTube and Google. Hear it, see it, and then let it go. And it helps when I say things to myself like, no fear stops here. It makes it easier for me to let it go. And then don't think about it anymore. And try not to get into the drama of it by excessively talking about it to other people so that you have something to say that's exciting or interesting or emotional. Just kind of ignore it. And when something else comes your way, maybe through Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, and it gives you that element of fear, if it's not an immediate danger to your safety, go ahead and let it go. Use your heart energy to immediately transmute it to neutral. And maybe say, no fear stops here. It's that simple. Let it go. Don't think about it again. Don't talk about it again or write about it or promote it, because fear is very contagious and it tends to grow and grow and grow and grow through the voices and the minds and the hearts of many people. And every time somebody picks up on it, before they pass it on to somebody else, they add something to it. So if it's not going to harm you or your loved ones, let it go and see what happens. Just forget about it and say, I'm going to let Source, God, the universe take care of that. That is not my problem. That is not my concern. And get on with your lovely, wonderful day, your lovely, amazing family, your life. Get on with it. Continue to make your videos if that's what you want to do, or listen to videos, or write poetry, or sing, or dance, or teach. Whatever it is that really floats your boat and really gives you a sense of joy of having spiritual consciousness operating in a material body, in a material world. Do that, get on with that, and let these other things that may be bad or may not be bad, that may come to pass or may not come to pass, let them sort themselves out without any thought from you, without any input from you, and focus on what's working in your life. Focus on what you love. So we're just going to go silent now, and we're all going to just imagine what it's like if we did that with everything. If every time something negative crossed our mind, or we heard it, or saw it, or read it, or somebody told us about it, if we could just think about it, acknowledge it, and then transmute it with our heart energy and say, no fear stops here. Okay, so when you're ready, just take a nice, relaxing, deep breath. Go ahead and open your eyes and start to move around a little bit, knowing that your higher self has turned off the fear valve. It can no longer affect you unless it's something that you need to be aware of that concerns your safety. Then you will take notice and do something appropriate about it. Back.
And we are back.
You
Yeah,
are.
that's the thing that I think about all the time. I'm like, well, when we really need fear, we don't have to worry. It kicks in automatically. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like, let's not turn off the fear permanently because
Right,
sometimes
right.
you need to move fast.
Right, right, exactly. But it's pretty much automatic if you see like a wolf or something running right
Yeah,
at
or
you,
you smell smoke or fire, you just move.
Exactly. So I was reminded, I was looking, let me see, doesn't look like she's texted me yet. I want to share something that Lissa sent me that I think everyone will enjoy. Um, since everybody loves orbs and stuff, this is
Oh, yeah.
of a, let's see, let me see. I want to share my screen with you so you can check it out too.
Cool beans.
Share the right screen, switched it to there. And then I'm going to minus this out. Enjoy the beautiful scenery there. Okay,
Oh, yes.
I gotta find it here. Oh, there it is. Okay, I need to get it to the right screen so you can see it.
I
Okay.
love pictures and
Okay.
videos.
So this is pretty cool. Let me, you can see it, right, Eileen?
Yes. Who is that from?
This is from Lissa.
Yes, I did get it. I just got it via Twitter before we came on.
Okay, I'm gonna mute it here because she starts talking here in a second. But look at all the orbs. Isn't this great?
Oh, yeah.
It might be pixelated for you. I don't know. But
I
you've
saw
seen it.
lots of orbs from the original
There
video.
you go.
Can
Yeah.
everybody see it okay?
And I'm wondering if, I'm looking at, do you
There's
think this
music
box,
too. Yeah.
do you think this box is what the doll came in, or do you think,
She said yes. She said it
oh,
came
okay.
in a really cool wooden box. It's an antique doll. And what you're seeing it do is move the way it's supposed to with music. But
Mm-hmm.
when they would look at it, it would change positions. So it would either sit up or sit down.
Like
And
there's an
they'd be,
orb, and it starts to fall
yeah,
back there.
there it goes. But she said it would be laying down and they would look at it and it'd be sitting up and it would be sitting up and then it'd be laying down. But those are pretty clear orbs flying around that doll.
Definitely. Yeah, that's
And
really
very
cool.
white and very round
Mm-hmm.
and very fast.
Yeah. Very
So
cool, though. I love those. I love the
thank
orbs.
you. Thank you, Lissa, for sending that. That is super cool. I got to see it right before we came on. I got it via Twitter. I'm new to Twitter. I've got a new platform. Not very good at it, though.
Don't feel bad. It's only 140 characters anyway, so I just use it for notifications, basically. In
I have a
fact,
group that actually shares information on it. So I'm trying to keep up on the information that's flying there, but it's so much every day.
yeah, there's a lot. It's like I have to actually click on my profile picture and click profile because otherwise I'd be scrolling forever and ever and ever. And so anybody that's contacted me through Twitter or Facebook or any kind of, especially if you're not my friends on Facebook, I didn't even know there was a separate tab for people that send you messages,
I've
but they're
seen
not
it,
your
but I've never
friend.
used it. I've never looked at for it.
Yeah, I found them where they were like, I don't know, months or years old. And I'm like, oh, I feel so bad. But a lot of the people ended up emailing me. So email, just if you're watching this, email is the best way to get a hold of me. I don't even really do the phone on Friday night is all I do. So it's really better to just email me
Me
or
too.
contact me through the website,
Best for sure. For sure. For sure.
uotf.net. If you use the contact form there, it will still come to my email. So either way works for me. And
Because
so yeah,
sometimes if they put it in a comment, sometimes YouTube will hold that comment and put it in a different folder, and I
exactly.
don't see those all the time. Like once a month, I might get to the folders of things that are held.
Yeah, same way here. People
Yeah.
will share really nice links in the,
Mhm.
and then I won't see them for a long time, and it's sort of irrelevant by that time that I find it. So I'll go ahead and turn it on, but nobody sees it at that point.
Yeah,
But
I agree them with the sources that I know. Like,
hmm
there's certain people who send me lots of links. I'll just automatically approve them, but I can't even see that they sent it. It's not obvious.
exactly. So this is what I recommend. This is what I do. I will leave a comment and say, "Hey, I've got this video I want to send. I will reply with a link under here so that they know to go look at their spam folder for the link, and
You
then they
taught me
can
to do that. Yep.
yeah, and then they'll know to approve it at that point. So if you guys have a link that you want to send me, it's best to email it. But if you want to leave it in the comments, just leave a comment first without a link,
Yep.
saying that, hey, I found whatever. I wanted to share the link. I will
I'll
reply with the
put it in
link.
the reply
Then when it doesn't pop up there, we'll know to go and check our
to the
spam
spam
folder
folder.
and okay it, because otherwise it goes into this holding folder that I rarely ever look. It used to warn you, hey, you've got stuff in this
Yeah,
folder
not
that
anymore.
not anymore.
And
So
then there is a lot of spam in there too. So you got to find the good ones in there.
yeah.
And it makes you go through all the bad ones first. You're like, oh, darn.
And I'll even see people who have like a good message they're trying to get out, and they're just copying it and pasting it in
Hmm.
like different videos. You'll see the same exact copy and pasted message, and that goes all the way into the spam, the spam folder, because the algorithm recognizes that you're putting the exact same thing in all of these different comments, and it just moves you to the spam. So anybody out there that does have a great message that you're wanting to get out, make awareness about something, you want to type a fresh new message every time, because if you copy and paste it in there, the algorithm's going to catch it and say, look, this guy's just putting the same message in multiple videos. It's not relevant. Put it in the spam thing. So there's ways around the whole.
That's good advice. So you can actually upload a link everywhere. You just have to write original words in front of the link for every posting.
Well, not
So
the link. The link will automatically kick it
yeah, the
over
link
into that.
does. That's why you got to put that in the reply. So
Yeah, you want to
you could do
reply
a
to
whole
your.
video on this
Yeah,
getting around the YouTube algorithms.
right. But I did notice that with, well, no, that's not necessarily the case, because I've had John Benny share a link to, like a song that he had that's relevant to the video, but it was in the spam folder. So even though he's a mod, you would think would have rights to,
Oh
since he
yeah.
has, so I don't know. They've changed that too.
Oh
They're
yeah.
changing so many different things, because you would think mods would be
Oh,
able to
he
paste
can
in
only put it on a live stream.
only
You
a live
mods can
stream.
add them to live streams only, and if they do them in comments, they go to spam.
Exactly. So.
Interesting.
But I didn't think it used to be that way. In fact, I thought mods were able to moderate your videos as well. Like if somebody's getting out of hand, they can just kick them out of there. It looks like we stream resumed. I don't know.
True,
This
true,
might be
true.
like 6 different videos. We'll
And
see
it's
how
not
it
me this
split it
time.
up.
Is it your stream? It's not me.
Yeah, it's just. Oh yeah, I froze there. Yeah, it's. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
It'll be fine.
I'm not blaming you. It's just nice that it's not me for a change.
Well, when it's you, it only affects you. So,
Okay.
and you're not even really pixelated now. So.
I'm not on my screen, but you are for me, and you keep coming and going and coming and going. So I don't know if you're real. You could be a figment of my imagination, Shane.
It's one of the things I thought. I'm like, man, am I dreaming all these people?
You sure are.
Well, I guess we'll wrap this one up, and we will see you
Great.
guys again next week for some
Awesome.
more intentions,
Yep.
changing the
Mwah.
world. Lots of love and light to
Peace,
each and every one of
everybody.
you watching now and later, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Bye.
If you'd like to support the work I do, go to paypal.me/UOTF. Thanks.